Hi, everyone. Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. I hope you are doing well. And it is time for a weekly track roundup, giving my thoughts on some of the latest tracks and songs that have come out, the best ones, the worst ones, and everything in between. You guys should know by now all the tracks I talk about are linked down below in the description of this video, so you can check them out for yourselves. Also down there are our Turntable Lab and Patreon links. If you would like to get some colorful pressings of records we have reviewed on the channel, hit up that Turntable Lab link. We get kickback from it, and also on Patreon you can get access to cool, exclusive, monthly bonus content, live listening parties of classic records as well that we do. So hit that up, supports us and everything we do as well. And a few more shout-outs that I have to give before we get into all the tracks and everything. Over here, right here next to my head, we have a limited time only available project from Leland Kirby of Caretaker fame. Austin has decided to recommend this to us and had me put it in the video, so shout out to Austin for doing this. Anyway, this is a reissue of a 19-hour-long version of Kirby's 2006 Death Rave project, and it gives new or old meaning to the term deconstructed club, and it's yours for free. So yeah, if you're a big Caretaker fan of some experimental music, especially long form style, hit that link, give this a listen. And also A.G. Cook of PC Music fame has decided to drop a new EP. Proceeds from this EP goes to the Movement for Black Lives, and it is under the name DJ Lifeline. And if you're looking for some hyper experimental electronic music that is for a good cause, give this a try, give this a shot. All right, worst tracks. We have a couple, we have a few. We have just a few. First one is this new track from Tyler Yahweh featuring Post Malone, Tommy Lee. It is awfully sung. The tune is terrible. Production mediocre. I'm surprised Post got pulled into this track. Not that Post really saved it either. His performance wasn't great either, but I don't know. Just this track was just a non-starter for me. Nothing really all that appealing about it, in my view. Just like really bad emo-ish trap, I guess. And we also have a Ricegum. YouTuber Ricegum has a new single, Contract Money Freestyle. Has someone given Ricegum a contract? If so, it can't be to do this. It must be to do something else, right? Because the singing and the rapping on this is trash, to put it lightly. Really, I am putting it lightly, saying it is garbage. It is absolute garbage trash, and I am being nice about it. Okay? Hopefully this is the only song Ricegum puts out for a long while. All right, let's get into the tracks that I thought were meh. Weren't blowing my mind, but were certainly worth a nod or pointing in your direction. We have quite a few. Ba-bam! First, the garage rock band Witches has come through with this track Cowboy, which isn't their best written song ever, but it's very dark and noisy and sinister in only the way that a Witches song typically is. Reminds me a little bit of Black Lips as well, some of their classic stuff. We also have Tricky, obviously a legend in the UK music scene, who has come through with this new track over here featuring Marta. Fall Please is the title. Love the groove, love the beat. Vocals came off a lot more awkward than I would have liked, but still some enjoyable qualities to this one. We also have this new track over here featuring none other than Freddie Gibbs. It is a Spank Nitty James. The song is Disappear. Not too crazy about this track, mostly because I think Spank Nitty's flows aren't really that on beat. I don't know. I mean, I get this is a bit of an appealing style these days with Blueface and obviously Herbo and all that stuff, but I don't know. I'm just not really crazy about his approach to this. Moving on from there, Pop Smoke. We have a big posthumous single over here, featuring none other than Mr. Rowdy Rebel, who has that penitentiary phone flow on this one, as he is recording his verse from prison on this one. We're hearing more and more of this, and I was actually kind of blown away by how just, I guess, on beat he was, or I guess was edited to be, while just being over the phone and everything. It's not a bad track. I think it's one of Pop Smoke's better singles. And this coming from somebody who has never been crazy about Welcome to the Party and all that, but his voice was beefy and deep and authoritative, and the production wasn't too bad. It didn't, wow me or anything, but I thought it was listenable. All right, moving on from there, Margot Price has this new track featuring Sturgill Simpson, which is instrumentally a little generic modern country, but vocals are good. Tune is solid. The Sturgill involvement is quality as well, so can't complain about it too much. Title of this one is Letting Me Down. Moving on from here, we have a new track from Lil Baby, The Bigger Picture, which is one of his best written tracks ever. I mean, Lil Baby, you can count him amongst the many artists right now that are making songs in relation to and reaction to the resurgence of the Black Lives Matter movement and all of this police brutality that we're seeing caught on camera, that people are protesting against. And Lil Baby logically flows through some pretty heavy and emotional verses on this one. Again, one of his better written tracks, period. Point blank, period. The production, I think, is some of the worst production he's ever been on. Like, the hi-hats are just way out of whack and mixed way too freaking high. But still, having said that, like, his performance and his rapping and his writing are all pretty solid, all enjoyable. I just wish it happened over a better beat. And, respect to him, respect to the movement. And anybody who puts their heart into a track like this, I think is it's at least worth a nod, worth checking out for sure. We also have this new End of Days track over here from Spillage Village with Earth Gang and Jid and Jordan Bryant and Mereba and Hollywood JB. And it's a lengthy one. It's kind of a psychedelic rap banger with some Goody Mob and Outkast influences and a very awkward ending. There are aspects of it that kind of blow me away. There are aspects of it that I think could be better, but A for ambition on this one. Moving on from there, we have this Jarvis Cocker's new project that he has been kind of pushing around. Save the Whale is the title of this new single. Kind of struck me as some very weak Leonard Cohen worship in my view, but late era Leonard Cohen worship. But hey, give it a listen. Try for yourself. See if that is in fact the case. We also have Hopsin over here, who shockingly enough did not make one of his worst tracks, in my opinion, with Kumbaya. It's got a great beat. It's got a good flow. It's aggressive. It's got that attitude to it that I like. But of course, it's Hopsin. There are some bars that are very questionable. One where he says that him rapping is like having Pac and Biggie back. And he also likens himself to RoboCops. He also likens himself to RoboCop's scrotum, which, I'm just going to leave you to listen to the song yourself to hear the context of that. So, Kumbaya. Hop is really back. He's really back now, guys. He's really back. I Don't Belong, new track from Fontaine's DC. I like the sentiment of the song, and I find the lyrics to be pretty sad, but the delivery and vocals and the pacing of the instrumental are all pretty one-dimensional and monotone. Not really too crazy about that aspect of it, but still. And we have this new track from the latest LP of sister R&B duo Chloe and Halle, Forgive Me. I am feeling this track and other tracks from this record as well from a vocal standpoint. The vocals, the harmonies, the melodies coming out of the vocals are really good. It's just that the production every once in a while is just okay or a little weak or not really all that novel or a little generic. On this particular track, it's a little trappy and somewhat lifeless, but still liking the song, still liking the vocals. But still, if you're an R&B fan, I highly recommend that you check out this new LP. It's one of the bigger releases of the week, so surely you have heard of it by now. We also have this new track over here from Bibio, whose latest LP is out, but the song that I am recommending, or at least, kind of pushing a little bit, is Oak Moss. Kind of seems like very regal and pretty folk instrumental, which seems to be the case with pretty much the totality of this new record over here. So, if you're looking for some very ornate and pretty folky instrumentals with plucky and bowed strings and lots of, I guess, rustic little layers, then give it a listen. Give it a try. We also have over here this new 20-minute long song. It's a long one. It's a long one. This new 20-minute long teaser track from Bell Witch and Aerial Ruin, The Bastard Wind. And I was kind of wowed by the first teaser I heard from this upcoming LP. This one, not as much. Not just because it really does not justify the length, but also the mix is pretty muddy. It's pretty muddy, and the folky intro is very, very, very weak, in my opinion. And when the full width of the instrumentation eventually enters, it's a very flaccid crescendo. Sound of this could be a lot better in my view, and it's really just suffering on that front. We also have DaBaby, Roddy Ricch, Rockstar, Black Lives Matter remix. So if you want to hear this track, but a bit more woke, do it. Go for it. And let's get into the best tracks of the week. The best tracks of the week. We have Shamir, who is coming through with a new album soon and going back into pop direction, but still in a way kind of keeping it a little lo-fi, a little rough around the edges as Shamir's stuff since that debut record that I reviewed a long while back. It's been a strange transition artistically, sonically, musically since that point in time. But this new track over here, On My Own, again, I think embodies a lot of those rougher, more lo-fi qualities, but goes in a more pop direction. I'm liking what is coming out here and interested in what is going to follow forth from this point. So shout out to Shamir on this one. We have Rico Nasty with this new track Dirty, which I think is one of her more insane bangers in a while. I guess this has a place in the soundtrack for that Insecure show, which is very popular. I mean, I've seen the first season of it. It's quite good. I haven't watched the latest episodes, but it's got some good writing. It's some good writing. Some good writing on that show. And awesome that Rico Nasty has some music featured in the show because this is a very wild and out there track. Somewhat a repetitive hook, but it kind of reminds me of some of her classic hard-hitting, just off-the-wall shit. We also have over here this track from what we understand, is the last recorded song of singer-songwriter John Prine. I Remember Everything is the title of the cut, and it is a beautiful song. Putting it lightly there. It's a gorgeous song. It's a wonderful song. It's a deeply moving song. I think it's actually one of his most beautiful songs ever. And I really don't know what else to say about it. It's just a wonderful, gorgeous, lovely song. Please don't miss it. Give it a listen. I Remember Everything. It's wonderful. We also have NLE Choppa, Shotta Flow 5. Damn! This is a banger and a half. His flow and delivery on this is fucking insane. Loving that some of those like cracked bits of his flow in the second half of the track. It's a great track, and I love that Choppa continues to just despite being wildly popular, just keeping it independent and just staying in his own lane, doing his own thing, because he's going to see the most benefit out of everything that he's doing if he's doing it on his own terms. So shout out to NLE Choppa. We also have Leo. Oh, that's funny. Just the silhouette, the position, the standing, the makeup of the cover art. That similarity there. But Leon Bridges, who is someone who I've respected the talent. I've liked his vocal abilities in the past, but it's rare that I'm blown away by a Leon Bridges song. But this track over here featuring Terrace Martin is a very, very stripped back, simple, and beautiful piece of neo soul with a somewhat stiff beat, but gorgeous, wonderful guitar work and fantastic vocals. Really liking the vocal performance on this one a lot. Sweeter, wonderful track, beautiful track. Moving on from there, we have this track from Kid Laroi and Juice WRLD, Go. It's got some fantastic vocal lines on it, quality production as well. Liking this one a lot too. right. Ooh, this one's great. Do not miss on this one, guys. Do not miss this one. Do not miss this track over here. What I'm about to tell you is a collaborative cut between Keleketla and Cold Cut, International Love Affair. It is a wonderful Afrobeat banger with one fantastic solo and highlight after the next. Great groove, crisp production. Album coming in July. Don't miss it. I think I'm going to be front and center to review this shit once it drops. We also have Juicy J over here. Hella fucking Trauma. Another track in reaction to the killings, the protests, everything. And Juicy J comes through with, I think, one of the more fed up, aggressive tracks to come out of all of this. I think one of his better songs and singles in a while. Super catchy hook, despite being a little repetitive. Thoughtful lyrics, quality flow, great attitude as well. Good production. So shout out to Juicy J for killing it on this one. And we also have a Jorja Smith, who previously I've not been a huge fan of her stuff. I mean, I recognize the talent. I see why people would like her stuff. But especially that breakout record she had a little while ago. I mean, there were just so many vocal performances off of that just reminded me of Rihanna. Just a little too close for comfort. But this new track over here is a huge, expansive, beautiful, jazzy odyssey that is actually kind of mind-blowing. Had no idea that she was ever interested in making music like this, but this track is a cover of a song originally by French jazz artist Saint Germain, and apparently is a part of a series of other classic Blue Note tracks and artists being covered and reimagined. And I don't know, I just hope further tracks to be teased from this project are as good, if not better. Moving on from there, we have this cut over here, which is a very nice death metal cut. A very nice piece of death metal over here. So death metal fans, take notice. Terminal Nation, Holocene Extinction is the name of this one. It's got a very beefy, classic, heavy guitar tone to it. Very melodic, wonderful guitar solo. And it's really the vocals, the very expressive vocals on this one, which aren't your typical death metal guttural growls. They really sell the track quite a bit, in my opinion. The performance is pretty raw and animalistic as well. So curious to hear more tracks from this forthcoming album over here. We have also Gorillaz. Shout out to Gorillaz for dropping this Friday 13th track featuring Octavian. A bit of a cool synth experimental reggae flip on this one that came out incredibly well. Very slow paced and a little spacey and kind of sad and dejected too, but still a great track to come out of this Song Machine series. And also shout out to Dirty Projectors, who continue to kill it with their latest material over here, which gets groovier and poppier as they go along. Inner World is the name of this new cut. We also have Blue in Exile following through with this 9-minute monster of a track, which has some of Blue's best bars in a while. Roots of Blue, featuring Jacinto Rines, is the title and feature of this one. I'm in awe of this one, and hopefully they drop more tracks very soon, because Blue in Exile, one of the better, rapper production duos out there. It's a shame they don't drop more music more consistently, but when they do, it's usually, turning heads, or at least it should be. We have also over here Baauer, who has this a little 3-track project out right now, but I know he has a new album on the way, so you'll hear more from me on this material when that whole thing is out and about. But this track, Reach Up, Don't Stop, is a banger and a fucking half. God, the bass on this one is insane. Do not miss this. Do not miss this. Do not miss this. One of the better produced tracks I think I've heard this year, so don't miss it. We also have this Aaron Cartier track over here, King Tap, which is a very insane, squeaky, left field, totally out there trap banger that you have to hear it to believe it. You have to really hear it to believe it. Don't miss this one. It's totally just out of its mind. It's out of its mind. It's out of its mind. And 6ix9ine, Nicki Minaj, TROLLZ. Yeah, I liked it. I enjoyed it. I reviewed it over on the Fantano channel, full length style. And, I love the production. I think Nicki killed her feature. And the portions where 6ix9ine doesn't really sound like 6ix9ine, and he's doing a bit of a future flow, vocals are a bit more low-key, I found those to be semi-enjoyable. So overall, I did end up liking this track. Is it my favorite track this week? No. But I did end up liking it, and I think it's one of his better singles since his early stuff. So, and that has been the weekly track roundup, everyone. The weekly track roundup. Thank you very much for watching. Again, all of those tracks are linked down below, so you can check them out for yourself. And I will see you guys in the next video. Anthony Fantano, weekly track roundup, forever.